conmigo, coño. Oh, what the? Be careful, Rob. Be careful. Be careful, Rob.
Coi Leray.
What did it say?
She was upset that I interviewed you guys. I don't know. I guess, I don't know. You guys had a history before, right?
Yeah, because I'm genuine. I thought she wanted to do a collab with some music, but really she was just trying to out me out the plan and bag my nigga and some bullshit. And I'm like, you can have yo. I just want the verse at the top song.
Because whatever you thought celebrity drama looked like before today, throw it out. This isn't gossip. This isn't fans speculate. This isn't a misunderstanding that gets cleared up with a Notes app apology and a PR smile. This is messy, loud, and way too personal to be accidental. One name popped up where it didn't belong. One rumor moved faster than common sense. And suddenly Chrisean Rock went from quiet to checking the temperature of the entire internet. And when her energy shifted, everybody felt it. Because this wasn't a clapback. This wasn't shade. This was the kind of reaction that says, I know something you don't. And I'm tired of pretending I don't. Coi Leray didn't say a word. Blueface stayed being Blueface. And the internet did what it always does, turned confusion into chaos and curiosity into a full-blown digital crime scene, screenshots, subtweets, memes, fake timelines. Real tension. This situation escalated so fast it made reality TV look like a yoga retreat. And by the time Chrisean spoke, it was already too late to rewind because whatever was said cracked something wide open. So buckle up. Because once you hear how this rumor started, why Chrisean snapped, and how the fallout rewrote everyone's image in real time, you'll realize this wasn't random, a blink and you miss it moment that doesn't look dangerous until you realize it's already crawling under the door. This one didn't kick down the internet screaming. It tiptoed in. A few whispers here. A couple of raised eyebrows there. One of those situations where people start sentences with, I might be reaching, but, which is internet code for I'm absolutely about to reach. And the second Blueface's name entered the chat, the internet stopped pretending this was harmless. Because let's be honest, when has Blueface ever appeared in a calm, well-adjusted storyline? His name doesn't travel alone. It comes with chaos packed neatly in carry-on luggage. At first, it was subtle. A follow noticed by fans with too much free time and high-speed Wi-Fi. A screenshot floating without context. Someone claiming they heard something, nothing concrete, nothing provable. Just enough smoke to make people start sniffing the air. Then suddenly, another name got dragged into the atmosphere. Coi Leray. Now this is where the temperature shifted. Because this wasn't expected. This wasn't a usual crossover episode. This felt random in a way that made people uncomfortable. The internet doesn't like randomness, it likes patterns. And when it can't find one, it invents it. So fans did what fans do best. They connected dots that may not have existed. Old clips resurfaced. Past lyrics got dragged out of retirement and interrogated like suspects. Even neutral moments started looking suspicious under the glare of speculation. Blogs jumped in carefully. No accusations. Just fans are talking, which is the digital equivalent of lighting a match and saying, wow, who started this fire? And through all of it, one person stayed completely silent, Chrisean Rock. Now here's the thing, silence from Chrisean doesn't read as calm. It reads as pressure building behind the scenes. This isn't someone who doesn't react. This is someone who reacts when she's ready. Fans noticed immediately. Why hasn't she said anything? She usually responds fast. This feels different. And when the internet senses hesitation, it doesn't slow down, it speeds up. People started tagging her directly, not asking questions anymore, but demanding answers. The tone shifted from curiosity to entitlement. As if she owed the internet clarity on something the internet itself created. That's when the rumor mutated. It stopped being, is this real? And turned into, if it's not real, why is it quiet? Which is the most dangerous stage of any scandal, because silence starts looking like confirmation to people who already want drama. And then came the emotional investment. Some fans framed it as disrespect. Others framed it as misunderstanding. A few went full conspiracy mode, swearing this was all part of some behind-the-scenes industry mess nobody wanted to admit. But the loudest voices were the ones projecting intent. This would explain a lot. Now certain things make sense. She's been too calm lately, and that's when Chrisean finally reacted. Not softly, not cautiously, not with a PR filter. Her response didn't feel rehearsed. It felt raw, heavy, charged with emotion that clearly didn't come from a single rumor. This wasn't about one headline, it was about a build-up that the tone alone told people everything. This wasn't playful shade. This wasn't joking sarcasm. This was frustration that had been sitting quietly until someone knocked the wrong door. She didn't scream names, but she didn't need to. The energy pointed where it needed to point, and the internet felt it instantly. Fans who watched her long enough recognized the shift. This wasn't impulsive chaos. This was someone snapping after being stretched thin too many times. Someone tired of being the punchline, the spectacle, the easy target whenever drama needs a face. And just like that, the narrative split in half. One side said, she has every right to feel some type of way. They argued that Chrisean has been dragged through enough public mess to earn a reaction. That people forget she's human because she's loud. The other side wasn't having it. They said reacting publicly only added fuel. That dragging another woman into unresolved drama was unnecessary. That if the real issue was Blueface, then Blueface should have been the only focus. And here's where it got messy, because both sides were right and wrong at the same time. What nobody could deny was this: the reaction felt personal. Too personal to be random, too charged to be performative. It sounded like someone who wasn't shocked by the rumor but offended by the implication. And once people sensed that, the internet leaned forward. What don't we know? What happened off camera? How long has this been brewing? Those questions are dangerous, because once the internet believes there's missing context, it will dig until it finds something real or not. By the end of this phase, the original rumor barely mattered anymore. It had already served its purpose. It cracked open something deeper. It exposed frustration that didn't start today. And it pulled multiple people into a spotlight they never asked for. This wasn't discussion anymore. It was a digital arena. And the moment Chrisean Rock checked the situation, the crowd roared like someone rang a bell. Screens refreshed faster. Group chats ignited. Timelines split clean down the middle like a zipper pulled too hard. The memes came first. Not the clever, blink and miss it kind, the ruthless, zero mercy kind. Screenshots got paired with captions so sharp they could shade glass. Someone slapped Chrisean's tone next to reaction clips from reality TV like it was a crossover episode nobody approved. Another user stitched old interviews into new narratives, turning vibes into evidence with Olympic-level confidence. And right at the center of the storm sat Coi Leray, still quiet, still not feeding the frenzy, still refusing to hand the internet the one thing it wanted more than drama, a quote. That silence didn't calm the waters. It electrified them, because now the debate wasn't about what was said, it was about what wasn't. The comments shifted from curiosity to pressure. Say something, clear it up. Why so quiet? Silence stopped being neutral and started feeling like a move. And when the internet senses a move, it overanalyzes it like a chessboard at 3:m. Every lyric got reread like it was written yesterday. Old photos were dragged back into the spotlight. A random emoji turned into a headline. A like on a fan comment got spun into intent. People zoomed in so hard on pixels you'd think there was a treasure map hidden in the compression. Then came the celebrity side eyes. Not statements, those are too clean. This was subtweets from people who never say names but absolutely mean names. Podcasters laughed a little too long before saying, "I'm not touching that," and then touching it with a 10-minute monologue. Influencers dropped cryptic prayers captions that somehow felt louder than accusations. The energy turned gladiatoril. One camp framed Chrisean as someone who finally snapped after being poked, prodded, and publicly speculated on one too many times. They called it overdue. They called it honest. They said this is what happens when you expect someone to swallow disrespect quietly for the sake of optics. The other camp wasn't having it. They argued that pulling another woman into unresolved chaos was reckless. That if this was really about Blueface, then say that and leave everyone else out of it. They warned that reacting publicly only feeds rumors that should starve. And here's where it got uncomfortable. Because the arguments stopped being about this moment and started being about patterns. About who gets grace and who gets dragged. About whose silence is praised and whose emotions are punished. About how quickly the internet labels passion as instability when it comes from the wrong mouth. Think pieces multiplied. The word narrative started doing overtime. People weren't just watching drama anymore, they were diagnosing it. Meanwhile, the memes didn't slow down. Someone compared the situation to a streaming series that refuses to end. Another joked that the rumor needed a narrator and a 3-part doc. Laughter mixed with discomfort in a way that made people feel entertained and guilty at the same time. And the original question, was the rumor even true? Got completely buried. By now, it didn't matter. The story had outgrown facts. It became about perception, and perception online is a wildfire. It spreads faster than truth and leaves ash where context used to be. Every new post wasn't adding clarity. It was adding fuel. And adding clarity. It was adding fuel. Chrisean's energy shifted again, less explosion, more control. The tone felt deliberate now, like someone saying, I said what I said and I could say more. That subtle change hit harder than yelling ever could. It told the audience this wasn't impulsive. This was calculated honesty after long restraint. Fans noticed. The room got quieter then louder. People started asking different questions. Not what happened, but what don't we know? Not who's right, but how long has this been building? And once those questions surface, the internet digs backward. Old drama resurfaced. Past incidents got re-examined. Every time Blueface's name had ever been linked to chaos, it got stitched together like a crime board with red string. The conclusion many jumped to wasn't subtle. This wasn't about one woman or one rumor, it was about being tired of being collateral damage in someone else's circus. Still, Coi's silence held. At first, it looked like avoidance. Then, as the days dragged on, it started to look like insulation. Like refusing to wrestle in mud because the mess sticks longer than the truth. Some fans praised it as maturity. Others called it privilege. Both sides argued loudly, neither fully satisfied. Public outrage multiplied not just at individuals, but at the entire cycle. People said they were tired of this storyline, that it was exhausting, that it was sad, that it was entertaining, but in a way that made them feel complicit for watching. That's how you know a scandal has peaked, when people say they're done. While refreshing the page every 5 minutes. By the end of this stretch, one thing was undeniable. Reputations were shifting in real time. Sympathy was moving. Lines were being redrawn. And whatever the truth was, it was now buried under layers of opinion, memes, and emotional reactions. That's the part nobody warns you about. After the memes stop trending and the timelines move on, what's left isn't peace, it's residue. And this situation left fingerprints everywhere. For Chrisean Rock, the aftermath didn't look like regret, it looked like resolve. No cleanup statement. No soft focus explanation tour. No taken out of context energy. Just a steady, unbothered stance that screamed, I said what I said, and I'm standing on it. That alone shook people, because the internet is used to watching people panic after backlash, apologies, clarifications, emotional walkbacks dressed up as growth. Chrisean skipped all of that, and skipping the ritual made folks uncomfortable. When someone doesn't flinch, it forces everyone else to sit with what was actually said. The conversation shifted quietly. Less she's wild, more she sounds tired. Less she went too far, more how long was she holding that in. That pivot matters. Sympathy doesn't always show up as agreement. Sometimes it shows up as silence, people rethinking their own reactions, realizing the explosion didn't come from nowhere. But while Chrisean absorbed the heat head on, Coi Leray remained untouched in the most strategic way possible, Still saying nothing. At first, the silence looked risky. The internet hates unanswered questions. But time changed the optics. What felt like avoidance began to look like insulation. Like someone refusing to step into a narrative that didn't belong to them no matter how loud it got. Fans reinterpreted it in real time. Some called it maturity. Some called it discipline. Some whispered that silence is easier when you're not the one bleeding publicly. All three takes floated around at once, and none of them canceled the others out. That's the weird part about public perception. It doesn't choose one version. It keeps them all. Coi's image stayed clean, but not warmer. Untouched, but slightly distant. Silence protects brands, but it also creates space for projection. When you don't speak, people fill in the blanks with whatever fits their worldview, and those stories linger longer than statements, hovering over everything like an unpaid bill. Was Blueface? He didn't need to speak. He didn't need to react. His name alone did the talking, because the pattern was loud enough by itself. Every argument eventually circled back to the same uncomfortable truth. Chaos kept orbiting one center. Different faces. Same outcome. And once fans noticed it, the tone shifted from shock to exhaustion. Not anger. Not outrage. Just tired familiarity. That kind of fatigue is dangerous. Not because it sparks rebellion, but because it normalizes damage. When people stop being surprised, they stop expecting better. And that realization hit hard. Conversations got heavier. Less jokes, more sighs. People started saying things like, "This is sad," instead of "This is funny," when entertainment turns into discomfort. The audience doesn't cheer, they reflect. Chrisean's public image didn't collapse, but it hardened. She stopped being seen as unpredictable chaos and started being viewed as someone shaped by it. Still volatile, still controversial, but now visibly worn by the cycle everyone pretends not to see. That shift doesn't erase criticism, it reframes it. Meanwhile, Coi's brand stayed polished, but cooler. Untouched by scandal, yet subtly removed from the emotional center of the conversation. Fans respected the silence, but some felt disconnected. Silence protects, but it also distances. And the internet. It did what it always does. It moved on. At least publicly. Privately, everything got archived. Screenshots don't expire. Clips don't disappear. Narratives don't die, they hibernate. This situation didn't end with closure. No final word tied it up neatly. No truth bomb landed to reset the story. It ended with a pause. The kind that makes people uneasy, because unfinished business has a way of resurfacing. And that's the real consequence, not canceled careers. Not viral apologies, but tension left unresolved. Because when drama ends without clarity, it doesn't fade, it waits. And in celebrity culture, waiting is just preloading. The audience already knows the pattern. The next headline doesn't need context, it needs timing. And when it hits, everyone will remember this moment. The silence, the explosion, the way it never really finished. So the question isn't whether this story is over. All right, now it's your turn. Because I know for a fact you didn't sit through all that chaos just to scroll away quietly like nothing happened. Drop a comment right now and tell me exactly where you stand. Was Chrisean justified for checking the situation before it went any further? Was silence the smartest move? Or the loudest one of all? And let's be honest, does this feel finished to you? Or does it feel like the calm before the next headline hits like a freight train? Smash that like button like it owes you back rent, late fees, and emotional damages. Hit subscribe like you're locking in a lifetime membership to mess, mayhem, and celebrity chaos, because these streets do not sleep, and neither do the rumors. Turn on notifications so you're never late to the explosion, because when drama drops, it drops fast and without warning. This channel isn't here to whisper. We don't sugarcoat. We don't play safe. We break down the blow-ups, decode the silence, and call out the patterns everybody sees but pretends not to. While other channels wait for statements, we read between the lines, because that's where the real story always lives. Scandals don't stop. Receipts resurface. And silence never stays quiet forever. So stay locked in. Stay loud. Stay Stay ready. Because when celebrity drama goes off the rails, rumors turn radioactive, and everyone starts acting brand new. Celeb insanity is always right here, front row, no filter, all chaos. Same madness, same energy. Madness, same energy.